I think anyone in the state of Illinois who's paying attention to the news these days realizes and understands that Illinois faces a severe fiscal crisis. But there's another crisis out there on the horizon. Maybe it slides underneath the radar for them, and that's the crisis of corruption in this state. We currently have two former governors that are serving terms for crimes that they did while they were in office. We have a federal investigation undergoing a current sitting legislator in the state. The Illinois government is a corrupt government. And I think it's time for us to take a look at what's working and what's not working in our state. And what is not working is the concept of a career politician. I think we need to look outside of our state, and let's take a look at 37 of the other 50 states who have imposed some form of term limits on their elected officials. Our neighbor to the west, the state of Missouri, 20 years ago, voted to impose term limits. They put it on the ballot, and overwhelmingly, over 70% of the population voted for, yes, let's have term limits in our state. 10 years after that, in 2002, they re-voted. They retook the survey and they said, are you sure? State of Missouri, are you sure you want to impose term limits? And at that time, 75% of the people said, yes, we confirm, we want to have term limits. I believe it's time for the state of Illinois and the voters of the state of Illinois to have that choice. That's why I propose a 10-year term limit on legislators in both houses of state government, and I would like the taxpayers and the voters of the state of Illinois to have their say and vote on that to become law. I believe that Chicago, Illinois is the only one of the major cities in the United States that doesn't have some form of term limits on its mayor. Hence, we get part and parcel of the problem of what we call Chicago-style politics. And the problem with Chicago-style politics for West Central Illinois is it doesn't stay in Chicago. They export it to Springfield. They export it to our state legislature. And it affects business as we do here in West Central Illinois. And that has to end. We have to put a stop to that type of thing. Big money, special interest, big money lobbyists line the pockets of these career politicians. You need to look no further than my opponent to look at his campaign fund and see where the money comes from. Follow the money trail. The big dollar lobbyists, the big dollar corporate interests are putting money into my opponent's campaign fund for influence for his vote in the future. I want to go to Springfield, Illinois to reflect the issues that West Central Illinois finds important. I want to represent the people here in West Central Illinois. I do not want to represent a special interest or a lobbying group somewhere outside of our district. I think it becomes a part of a package, what we've been talking about this past month. Again, the career politician receives too much pay. We need to freeze the pay. He or she receives too much of a pension, too lucrative of a pension. We need to totally overhaul the pension program for state legislators. We need to shine the light and transparency on the work that they do in government, and at this step, we need to add term limits to all legislators serving in the state legislature.